What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to see that daily Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. Now, in this video today, I'm talking about two players the Ravens have brought in, and they're actually significant players, right? These are not no-name players that the Ravens have brought in today. They brought in Jason Pierre-Paul for the second time this year. They brought him back, I believe it was June. And I've made videos talking about how I think the Ravens should sign Jason Pierre-Paul. I talked about it on the live stream. And they also brought in a player I was not expecting, one of my favorite players when I was watching him in college, Blake Martinez, Stanford alum. He's a linebacker. So we bring in an edge and we bring in a linebacker. That makes complete sense. Those are two issues that the Baltimore Ravens are having right now. Now, I know you can look at the Ravens game against the Miami Dolphins and say, oh, but it was the secondary lapses. Yes, but we have our secondary players. It was an issue of, hey, they're not old enough. Whereas the linebacking group, we are missing players, right? Like, we have Patrick Queen. He's really struggled in coverage last week. He looks great against the run. But like Josh Ross, went to IR. The Ravens really don't have a lot of guys. And then edge, we just lost. Means we have even less players. So we're waiting for, Tyus Bowser and things of that nature. So in the comment section down below, let me know, who should the Ravens sign? Should they sign both? Should they sign one of them? What are you thinking about these two potential signings? But I've talked about Jason Pierre-Paul. I'm going to give a little bit of a rundown of my thoughts. All right. Jason Pierre-Paul is not the same player that he was when he was playing on the New York Giants. He's not the same player as he was, a couple years ago when he was a Pro Bowler for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But that doesn't mean he can't still get things done. He was playing in a system in Tampa Bay where there were a lot of really good edge rushers, right? They drafted Joe Tryon out of Washington with their first-round pick. They have Shaq Barrett. They have a ton of interior depth. Like, they have a plethora of edge rushers and front seven pieces that they were able to switch in and out over and over and over again. So that reduces the opportunity for him to get some of those sacks. But the biggest thing is, hey, he has been a productive player in his career. Jason Pierre-Paul has. Obviously, last season was not his best season. I want to say he only had about 2 sacks, but the season before that, again, played very well. The Ravens need somebody, right? They need somebody that can come in and be a veteran, similar to Justin Houston, right? Justin Houston looked great against the Miami Dolphins, right? And it's like, oh, he's an old guy. He's not as good as he once was. Yeah, that's fine. But if you can get pressure for me, like that's better than not getting pressure. And Jason Pierre-Paul right now on the market is the best player at getting pressure. Will he be able to chase down Mahomes? Probably not. And yes, that's a problem. But I would rather at least have Mahomes on the run than standing in a clean pocket, right? I would rather have Burrow on the run than standing in a clean pocket. So getting someone like that can also help mentor the Ravens' young edge rushers, right? We're waiting for Tyus Bowser to get back, but we have Odafe Oweh. Getting more guys in a room with Odafe Oweh can be very, very, very beneficial to him and his growth. Because remember, he was drafted as a project player. I was surprised at how well he actually played in his rookie year. He is not someone that was drafted to be like, oh, yeah. It's not like Nick Bosa or Chase Young or Joey Bosa. We're coming out of college. It was like, these guys are going to be dominant forces in the NFL from day one. He's not a polished player like that. He hasn't been playing for long enough. So getting the right minds in the same room is going to be beneficial. So I'm all in on the Jason Pierre-Paul. I've made other videos about it. So if you want to check out, my full thoughts, you can go check those out in other places. And if they end up getting signed, I will make a video. But they just got brought in. So we'll see what ends up happening. But Blake Martinez, I was not expecting Blake Martinez's name to pop up with the Baltimore Ravens. And honestly, I think it makes sense. Now, if you look at Blake Martinez's stats, you're going to be like, how is this guy unsigned? This guy is so good. He's not that good. Okay. He led the league in tackles when he was playing in Green Bay in 2017. He's been a guy that's able to get a lot of tackles, but he's not amazing. Linebacker is the most difficult. It is the hardest position to judge based on stats, like easily. Like, you can tell how, oh, wow, this running back's good. Why? You looked at the stats. Oh, he averaged 5.5 yards per carry. Oh, wow, this quarterback's good. Why? He threw for 35 touchdowns and, threw for 4,500 yards. Okay. Cornerback, oh, let's look at the stats. Oh, wow. He allowed this quarterback rating and he got this many interceptions. Nice. Edge rusher, how many sacks did he get? Linebacker, it's really tough to tell because the only stat that they really have is tackles. And tackles are a very difficult to gauge stat because when he was playing in that defense in Green Bay, the reason why he got a lot of tackles was because they were like the worst run-stopping defense in the NFL. And like every time they ran the ball, guys got to this, next level, and Blake Martinez was trying to tackle him, 8 yards down the field. So we get a lot of tackles that way. And so they're overinflated. But let's be honest. The Ravens need guys that can wrap up. At least Blake Martinez can do that, right? Blake Martinez is somebody that has shown the ability to make those tackles. An issue for them over the last few seasons has been tackling in open space. Yes, there's been issues with pass coverage, but the reason why the Ravens, drafted Kyle Hamilton was be able to say, hey, let's go into nickel, get a sub linebacker, have a safety sub in a linebacker, in that nickel, or, maybe they go dime or whatever. Have a safety in the box. Blake Martinez wouldn't be the guy in the box. He would be the guy on first down. Playing next to Patrick Queen. And just, having a linebacker trio in Patrick Queen, Josh Bynes, and Blake Martinez, I think would be really good because Patrick Queen and Blake Martinez would be the guys that could try and shoot the gaps and do all those things. And then Josh Bynes is the level-headed, hey, I can play a little bit of pass coverage. I can sit back sort of player. So for me, and if you guys are into PFF grades, I'm not a huge fan of PFF. PFF isn't a statistic. It's an individual, grading. I'll go through his career. He started his career in 2016. He had a 59.6 PFF grade. That's his rookie year. He had 1 interception. Next year, he had a 66.2, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, 109 solo tackles. The next year, 2018, no interception, 73.6 PFF grade, 96 solo tackles. 2019, 58.9 PFF grade. And I believe this was with the Green Bay Packers. And then he ended up going to New York for the next 2 seasons. So 2019, he struggled, goes to the New York Giants, has a 75 PFF grade, has an interception, has 2 forced fumbles, 108 solo tackles. And then last year, he got injured last year, I believe. He only played in 3 games last season. So tough to kind of gauge how well he played. But overall, he's a player that can get tackles. Whether or not he's the best, he's not the best linebacker in the NFL. There's he's not Fred Warner. He's probably not as good as Patrick Queen. But again, the Ravens are in a situation where they need bodies. They need veteran bodies. Blake Martinez fits that bill. I think both of these guys would be really good signing. If I had to rank them, I'd go number 1 JPP. I think edge rusher is more important, especially with what the Ravens are needing. And then I would go with Blake Martinez. But if the Ravens can get both of those guys, I think it'd be fantastic. I think those would be like really good sneaky additions to where it's like, okay, at least they're changing something, right? When you have a blowout loss as bad as, or not blowout loss, a catastrophic collapse like the Ravens did against the Miami Dolphins, you want to see something change. A lot of times teams will fire a coach. Sometimes you'll, sign a new player. Sometimes you make a trade. Ravens got to do something different. Making a signing, making 2 signings on the defensive side of the ball could be the thing that motivates this team. Could be the spark plug that makes this defense step into the level that we hope it can be. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on the Ravens bringing in JPP and Blake Martinez. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for daily Ravens content, and I will see all of you